Hello again. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing fantastic. It's been a minute. Yes, it has been. A lot has been going on, especially in the world of Chelsea Football Club. I haven't been there to kind of talk and give my opinion on it, but I think I'm back this time and for good, even though it's not really welcomed, but it is what it is. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes at Chelsea Football Club since the last time we spoke. I'm just going to give my opinion on some of it and see kind of what was the problem in the Abramovich era. Where do we go from here? I'm going to do another video on the players that I think should stay and go. That should be an interesting one. Anyway, if you're watching, thank you again for watching. Welcome back, and hopefully we can grow the family. Thanks to Coach at Chelsea Perspective that has been pushing people to come back to this channel even when I wasn't putting up videos. So thank you very much. So yeah, it's been a while, but let's get right into it. So, it was a special time under the Abramovich era. We all know, as Chelsea fans, I think we all had a great time. We did think that it was going to last forever. Unfortunately, it hasn't. I remember a couple of years ago, I was thinking, if something happens to Roman, is his son going to take over? And that was kind of where I was going with the ownership of Chelsea Football Club, looking at other teams like Arsenal, how it's gone for them, Man United, how it's gone for them, and how their fans feel about their ownership. But unfortunately, things happen. Vladimir Putin decided to do what he's decided to do, and sanctions. I'm sure everyone knows the story. I don't need to go over it. Unfortunately, that's how the relationship had to end with Roman Abramovich. But we take it in stride. I mean, from the reports, we had so many bidders for the club. I think it was 250 that was trickled down over and over again. So, I mean, it shows that there was an interest in the club. It shows that a lot of people think that it's a viable option to purchase Chelsea Football Club. But at the end of the day, the Todd Boehly consortium got the final say. So they got the final approvals, and here we are. On the field, it was a lackluster end to the season, to be honest. There wasn't anything special to really talk about. I think part of it, we were lucky to end third. Just our performances towards the end of the season were not great. I think that a lot of our players kind of, just kind of fell off towards the end of the season. I know there was a lot going on and off the field, but I think a lot of these players were still, everyone was still getting paid. Things were still normal with with the football players. Yes, things were going on with the club itself, but the football players were still fine. So I don't understand why there was such a big drop in form. I think we got lucky. I think because Tottenham and Arsenal are such horrible and bad run and just foolish clubs. They definitely could have caught us towards the end there, and we weren't playing like a team that wanted to be in this year's Champions League. We weren't playing like a unit. We were letting in goals after goals, and it was just shambles. Like what Thomas Tuchel came in and solidified was that defense at first, and just out of nowhere, just things went horribly wrong. And you can say, yes, we had injuries and all of these things, and Silver is old, and I feel like Silver's age only comes in when things are when he puts on a 5-star performance. It's like, oh, he's 37 and he's still doing that, and and when it's bad, it's because he's 37. That's why he cannot play every match. But at the end of the day, he and the rest of the Chelsea defense needs to take responsibility for the amount of goals that we conceded towards the end of the season. These are the same guys that kept clean sheets after clean sheets, and it just fell off. And I'm glad some of the defenders are leaving. this team need an overall anyway. I think there's a lot of, I've written some things down here that I actually wanted to go through, and and part of that was, us finishing third, and and as I've said, it just wasn't a performance that's worthy of playing in the Champions League towards the end there. I know, again, a lot of things were happening, but I think the players still had, everything going for them. They were still the jewels of Chelsea Football Club when everything around us was going off. But moving on, I want to talk about the issues that I thought that we had at Chelsea Football Club. So one of those things was player power. I think because of, I think with the Lampard, John Terry's and the Drogba era, it was kind of good and bad at the same time. We had players that, that were leaders, that led the line, that spoke up when they needed to, that were there for the team when others needed picking up. But at the same time, it created this culture at Chelsea Football Club that when things aren't going right with the coach, everyone throws their toys out the pram, everyone complains, everyone does whatever they can do to get the coach fired, and it happened. Yes, we did have success with this, coach in and coach out, but it's left us in a situation where we are now, where we have youngsters that are in the team that think that, they don't have to perform, they don't have to, do anything if they don't feel like it, because of this precedent that was set by the past players. So again, like I said, I'm going to make a video about, Chelsea players that I think need to stay or go. But just looking at that player power, I think it's been a big issue at Chelsea Football Club. And I hope that with the Todd Bowley consortium coming in, those things are going to change. More trust is going to be put into coaches, which takes me to my next thing, which is, another issue that we had was not backing coaches, really good coaches. We had some really amazing, look at Art Angelotti and what he's done at Real Madrid. Yes, it was a different time. Yes, we were going through different things, but I think if a coach like that was backed, we could have gotten so much out of, his experience and his knowledge. And it just didn't work out. Even after winning a league and the FA Cup, it still didn't work out. And these are things that I feel we need to rectify. And I hope that Thomas Tuchel is here for a while. I hope that he is backed by both the owners and the supporters. We need to back Thomas Tuchel. I think he's a world-class manager. I do think he's top three, maybe behind Klopp and Pep, but I think the difference between them is, Pep and Klopp got to build their team. They were given every cent possible to build this team. And yes, Liverpool fans are going to say, blah, 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 we sold and whatever. But at the end of the day, that team is a Jurgen Klopp team, that team is a Pep Guardiola team. And we haven't really seen what a Thomas Tuchel team is, because everywhere he's gone, he's either inherited a team or, he couldn't go to PSG and start, switching things around, because there's so much player power when it comes to that. So it's interesting to see how we move forward with Thomas Tuchel. And another issue that I wanted to address is Chelsea fans praising mediocrity. I think that ever since, again, with the Lampard, Drogba situation, we've had this mediocrity between with our players that we haven't, and that we keep supporting, and I'm guilty of that as a Chelsea fan. I look at, the treatment of Timo Werner. I look at the treatment of Pulisic. I look at the treatment of Christensen sometimes, Jorginho, and there's a lot of players in the Chelsea team, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who have kind of just slid through like the cracks and just been allowed to be mediocre. We talk about how many players of ours can just walk into a Man City and can just walk into to a Liverpool team. But the reality is, you can be the most talented player out there, but if you're not going to give the coach, if you're not going to give the team 110% every time you step on the field, you get benched at those top clubs. This is why Liverpool and Man City are the best teams in the world right now, because every single player gives 110% every time they're on that field, or they're out. You look at Man City, you look at Raheem Sterling and players like that, and you think to yourself, like, the importance of their battle for the titles is not because they just have a bunch of talented players. We have talented players. I don't think that any of the players in our roster are not talented. I just think there's a lack of giving a damn. There's a lack of when things aren't going well, no one's pushing themselves, no one's giving that extra mile. And I think this is why Mason Mount stands above the rest, because Mason Mount gives 110%. Even if he's having a horrible run of games, Mason Mount will outrun everyone. Mason Mount will press more than anyone, and he will do everything to play for that badge. And I feel like a lot of players are coasting through, and we need to get rid of that. Now, what do I expect from the new era? Oh, it's an interesting one. But with all the things that I said, with all the issues that I've talked about, I think in the new era, we need to look at backing managers. I think it's important that managers are backed. I think it's important that Thomas Tuchel is backed. I'm seeing that, yes, he is getting the money. He is getting the full control of transfers, which hasn't happened at Chelsea Football Club in decades. And yes, we loved the Roman Abramovich era because it brought us so many trophies, but at the same time, it created this problem that we have now with this mediocrity in the team that is in the blood of Chelsea Football Club at this moment. And I hope that with the moving forward with the coaches and the new owners, that is going to change. I'm loving what Thomas Tuchel has done with the Lukaku situation, which I will go into in the next video. But I love what he's done there, because it's like you're not bigger. I don't care what the issue is with Lukaku, whether he's not getting enough playing time, whether the system doesn't fit him, all of these things. Like, yes, okay, fine. You throw whatever excuses you have possible. But if you're not giving 110%, and you're making interviews, and you're throwing your toys out the pram and saying you want to go back to Inter and all of this is the type of stuff that we need to get rid of at Chelsea Football Club. This is the type of stuff that Chelsea Football Club needs to change. It's that player power. It's that lack of backing managers, and it's also, it's rewarding mediocrity. I'm so sorry. That's just the truth of it. We are rewarding mediocre players with big salaries, and we're putting them on these pedestals, and at the end of the day, we're not getting the return that we need in order to challenge for another Champions League, to challenge for the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League in like 6-7 years now, and we're not anywhere closer to doing that. We're 19 or 17 points behind the league leaders. It's embarrassing. Yes, we're third, but we're an embarrassing football club if we are talking about challenging for something, and we're 19 points at the end of the season behind the league leaders. I think it's important for us to look at those things, and that's what I'm hoping to see in the Todd Bowley era. And we need to bring back this winning mentality. We need to bring back that mentality of 1-0 is not enough. 2-0 is not enough. Let's go out and score as many goals. We need players that are hungry for goals. We need players that look at the scoreboard and say, okay, it's 3-0, or Mohamed Salah has 15 goals right now and I only have 10. How many goals can I get in this match? We need that type of player. We need those type of players in the Chelsea football ranks, and unfortunately, we don't have that. We don't have the ambition. We don't have players that want to put out the most every single time they step on at Stamford Bridge or even away and wear that badge. Like, we need that, and we just don't have it. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think in the comments. that's just my feelings on, what has been going on with Chelsea Football Club and how we are looking at the moment. I'm hoping again that those things change. I'm hoping again that Thomas Tuchel is backed and that the new owners really want us to succeed. I have a feeling that they do. Hopefully everything happens and that comes true. Again, let me know what you guys think about my opinions in the comments. If you disagree, that's okay. If you agree, that's fantastic too. Let's keep the conversation going. Hope everyone's doing well. I will see you definitely for the next video. Have a good one. I'm out. Bye.